Hello, welcome in. So we are turning hard maple. Yeah, hard maple just turns wonderfully. It turns real nice and smooth. It doesn't have very big pores, so... So it doesn't have a bunch of dots and lines on it. So I do have a pair of arms here, so there we go. Nice and straight, running true. That's what we're looking for. Is it Sagan? Hello, welcome in. So this is called a storyboard or a story stick. Hey Les, how's it going? I'm just going to make a 7-inch shaft here. So it has lines on it, so I'm just transferring the lines over. That way they're all the same. I hope everybody had a wonderful Veterans Day. Alright, so we're starting with hard maple. I ordered these oversized. That way I can true them up. So I'm going to be using this spanner or wrench as a caliper. And we're going to start with the roughing gouge. We're just bringing the diameter down. So once the wrench slides over, I know I'm on size. Now I do have marks on my tool rest, so on an 8-inch shaft, my taper is going to end here. Now we're going to switch to a spindle gouge. You get a little bit more control. It doesn't take off as much, but at least a better finish. Alright, now we're going to shut it off, back off the tailstock while it's still running, so I can see if I have vibration in here. Looks good. So this is my test whirl. I put this on. And then my story stick, I have a cutout so I can register it. So that way when you make multiples, they're going to be the same size. And they're going to sit in the same position on the spindle. So. Alright, now we're going to take this tool. This is a beading tool. It's just a V. So I'm going to support it. Then we're going to grab the skew, come up here, and we're going to lay in the finial. Come back in with my gouge and just blend everything together. I have some wire, and I'm just going to set the wire in here just to burn some decorative lines. So put little handles on it. Then we're going to turn the speed down on the lathe and sand it out. Turn the speed back up. We're going to grab some wood chips. We're going to burnish the surface. So think of burnishing as like a friction polish. Okay. We're going to take a little wax. So we did everything we could do while it was between centers. So there's a 4-jaw chuck here, so it's clamped in on this side. This side has a live center, so it's a pin with a bearing, so that's spinning. So we're clamped in, so I'm going to cut off the top here. And there we go. Sand out the finial. Burnish. And wax. Come here, we'll cut it off at a point. Go. Hello, my friend. How are you doing today? Elias, hi, how's it going? Welcome in. Alright, the question is, doesn't it hurt when I touch the wood? I'm just supporting it. I'm not grabbing onto it. I'm only touching it when it's already cylindrical, so... You know, if I'd hold it tight, yeah, it would burn, but... I've got calluses on top of calluses. Yeah, it looks like I'm holding it, but I'm just supporting it. It's free spinning in there. So the reason I have to support it is they're very thin. They're thin and long. If I didn't support it, it would vibrate and then they wouldn't be straight. So it's a very specific use case. Yeah, these start out at, you know, a ½ inch. And then the piece here is 7/16, but it drops down to, I don't know, pretty darn thin. We are churning hard maple. We are making Turkish drop spindles. So this isn't sanded. So this is what they look like. You spin yarn on them. So here's an example of one that I've been spinning yarn on. So spindles came before the spinning wheel. So we've been using spindles since Neolithic times. Yeah, people often ask me if it's full of salmon. So. All right, this one has a lot of vibration in. Wood has a lot of internal stresses. So, you never know. You can do everything right and they're still not all going to turn out. That's all right. They'll go in my fireplace at home. It's just starting to get to be burning weather here in Wisconsin. It's nice. Oh, okay. Your name makes perfect sense. Yeah, we had the whole Oshkosh JLG conversation. Hey, Scott. Welcome in. Yeah, so my girlfriend wasn't feeling too well. She did work a couple hours, and then she fell asleep on the couch this morning at the shop. So she went home. I'm gonna, work a few hours. We are making drop spindles for spinning yarn. Right? So I told her, I'll give her a call, see if she's at home when it's time to go home, or I can walk home. It takes 15 minutes. Yeah, but this is just spindle turning, so you can pretend we're making little baseball bats or magic wands or what have you. We can Leviosa some stuff later. Yeah, I have made wands in the past. extra staircase, right? Be a pretty fancy baluster. Yeah, I realized this morning that I was kind of caught up to myself. So I didn't have any of these made up. Everything was already paired up with the arms. I cut these out on the scroll saw. So I kind of want to have a buffer. How many do you make on a daily basis? It depends, you know, if I'm in show mode, you know, maybe 40 to 50. Otherwise, I usually do about 12 to 20 a day. So far today, I think I've made like 30 or 40. So when I started out this morning, I just added like 4 to the little ones, but I've got like 25 here, and they're all different sizes. Hello, 88. Sorry, I only read English. And Yassine, welcome in. So to put things in context, I'll come over here. So these are all ready for sanding. This is Vicky's sanding station. Yeah. And these are all ready for sanding as well. And then I have a bunch drying over there. These are ready to be laser engraved. Yeah, it's my job. And then all these are finished out here. So these are all not listed yet. They're not on the websites. And then the ones that are on the website, those are all on the website. And then all of these. Am I? So yeah, today just feels like a turning day. I'm alright with that. We can make Harry Potter ones. If we want to pretend they are, that's fine. Yeah. Organization is the big thing. Hard. So we've been in the shop a little over a year, and then a couple weeks ago I got done with my last show, which was in North Carolina, So I took some time and I reorganized things, and we're not done yet, but it's getting closer. Yeah, those big racks I showed, one rack was for Etsy, the other rack was for Shopify. Yeah, so I've been making these full time since 2012. I'll never be rich, but I'm happy. People kind of forget about that happiness part. How long does the sandpaper last? Well, if I turn the lathe down when I sand, I'll get quite a few out of it. If I'm in a hurry and I let it run too fast, I mean, I'll change these sheets out like 2 to 3 times a day if I'm working really hard. Oh, all right. So the printers, we're kind of getting towards the tail end of making dragons. So we have this one here. It's got another just about 2 hours left in it. And this one has 3.5 hours. So that spool was all stuck together. I've never seen that before. I've been 3D printing since like 18, maybe before that. That was the first roll I saw that would look like it was too hot when they spooled it. So we re-spooled it. It seems to be running. I've kind of got a mess here that I need to go through yet. So we only got 2 printers running today. Yeah, so the sandpaper, I get the squares, and then I take an old scroll saw blade and just cut them in half. Yeah, that's Vicky's Small Harbor Freight toolbox. Keeps her pencils in it. I told her it's going to get a blue one when they got back in stock. Now they got a ton, but I'm like, yeah, I really don't need it. Yeah, she's got a ruler in there and her scissors. Yeah, it works. And it's cute. So this is a woodworking shop, so the majority of my tools are at home. Yeah, cute is important. It really is. You know, this place is my home away from home. I spend, most of my awake life here. Might as well be comfortable. Make money on spindles? They do alright. The average cost, the median price of a spindle is probably $25. I would say would be median. They go anywhere from like $20 up to $100, depending on what they are. Sales for 2025, I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. Overhead profit, materials, yeah, all that stuff goes into play. Yeah, I'm not going to discuss my finances. We'll put it this way, I'll never be rich, but all my bills are paid. Yep, not going to give that info out. I don't want to give people false hope, you know. I did this for a lot of years struggling. Oh, I'd love to make 2.7. Yeah, I'm fine. You know, I do festivals, so you know I'm in Wisconsin. I'll do a show in North Carolina. In a 3-day weekend, you know, I can get a month's worth of profit out of it. What I would make online in a month, I can make in a weekend. Yeah. This lathe here is a Laguna Revo. I got it at Woodcraft. So yeah, this lathe is base price on it. It's like $1,000. Maybe a little bit more now. But wood turning is one of those things where all the accessories add up real quick. Yeah, so the main income, you know, I do festivals. I have 2 websites that I sell on, and I do some limited wholesaling. I could do way more wholesaling if I wanted to, but it's really not my thing. When I first started out, it was important. You know, there's something about having your items in stores. Yeah, right now I really don't have a live schedule. I just kind of come on whenever. So I would say probably 2 to 5 times a week, depending. Is my style patented? Nope. I'm proud to say on YouTube I make at least $1 a day, which is good because I have $1 a day habit, you know. Well, you make a 3D printer with a 3D printer, you know. I'm so lost. Pearl Jam in my head. So I had do 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 in my head, and all I could think about was David Letterman singing that. Yep, salmon in the can. It's a little waxy. I never thought Eddie Vedder was singing Daddy Shark. Do, 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 do. Pretty good. There's a little vibration on the top, so instead of 8-inch, we're going to make 7. Right? I have had a provisional patent on something I invented. But by the time it came to market, nobody was ripping me off. And patents are expensive. So it served its purpose. On there. To see the crayon, right? Hey Jose, how's it going? So there's SnyderSpindles.com. And then I do have an Etsy. Let me pull it up. So I've been on there for 12 years. I've had 26.3 thousand sales. So I do 2 shows in North Carolina. I do SAF, which is Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair, which is in Fletcher, so it's right over by Asheville. And then I've got a show coming up in March, which is in Raleigh at the fairgrounds. This is the first year that they have the big building, the weird kind of cake-looking thing. The futuristic 1960s looking thing. And some of the stores that I'm at, I'm in Webs, which is yarn.com. The fairgrounds in Raleigh. Nelly. Try that again. And the one in Raleigh, it's Carolina Fiber Fest is what it's called. Yeah, so these festivals tend to, well, the one in Raleigh doesn't have a lot of animals, but they do have a lot of classes, and there's quite a big sales floor. List of things to do. They have dog trials. Actually, I don't know if they have a dog trial. I know they have them in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Yeah. Are there any other stuff you want to sell besides spinning yarns? You know, I do a bunch of stuff. I do 3D printing and sublimation and laser engraving. I got a CNC machine that I'm just getting the hang of now. I do some 3D, yeah, the 3D printed dragons. Yeah, that's not going to fit in your pocket. You know, when you go to a festival, I sublimate like coffee cups. I make earrings, lots of keychains and buttons and that kind of stuff. Yeah, fishing lures. My older brother would love me if I would make fishing lures. I made a lot of scroll saw word art and toys and This is a Steve Good pattern, but yeah. So I make stuff like this as well. So this is cut out on the scroll saw 2 layers, and then I went in with my Fordham and I rounded everything over. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta design. I designed this just something cute, you know, for Easter. I've got one that's all pink and blues and purples, but I like the black and silver. Arrows. I used to make like a lot of the wooden ampersands before it, you know, Hobby Lobby and Michael started dumping that stuff out. I used to make a sign that said bacon on it. Big bacon sign for the kitchen. And that was featured in Food Network magazine back in the day. I made some ampersands for Nike when they were having kind of like a family day at the corporate headquarters. So they bought a bunch of these big ampersands so the kids could paint them. All right, get some sleep. Thanks for stopping in, and thanks for talking. It's much appreciated. Do I know computers? Not a whole ton. I mean, I used to build them back in, you know, the mid to late 90s as a hobby. But, yeah, these days I just buy pre-built things. I mean, I'm okay with Inkscape, Fusion 360. I'm okay doing what I need to do. Hey, Morton, welcome in. Hello, Giovanni. I have not played EVE Online. I've seen a lot of ads for it. Yeah, I don't play I don't play much games at all. Let's see. The last 2 games I bought were Subnautica and then Rust. The friendliest game ever made. How many of these do I make per month? Depends on the time of year whether I'm getting ready for a show or not. But yeah, it's in the hundreds, if not a little more than that. So when we get into our busy season, We've got like 3 shows. We got 2 shows that are basically 1 week apart. Sometimes 2 weeks apart, depending on the calendar. And then a couple weeks after that, we have another show. So building up to that point, we're dumping out a ton. So I make a bunch of different types. You guys, if you've been on other streams, I make these on stream a lot because it's easy. It's a static camera. Do I ever think about a CNC machine? It's Snyder Spindles, SNYDER. Sometimes I think about a CNC machine. So here's my CNC machine. This is a Shape Poco 5. I do have the spindle on it. So for these, I make these. These are nitty knotties for winding hanks. So when you're done spinning yarn, you wind it onto this to go to the next step. And then I laser engrave the sheep, who's also spinning yarn. So I'm just learning this machine now. It's not that dissimilar to like the laser engravers. It's just getting everything down, you know. So these were made on the CNC machine as well. So these are top whirls. So basically there's a stick going through these and there's a hook on the top. How many steps are there? Well, you spin your yarn, then you ply it to make it thicker, then you wind it onto a nitty knotty, then you wet set it, so you wash it, then you let it dry, and then it's ready to be used. The CNC turning machine. I don't think that's in my budget with an auto feeder and everything. I actually don't mind making these. You know, I'd really hate to outsource them. And people like the fact that they're handmade. Snyder spindles on it, see? You know, I'm sure when I started, they took forever. It's true. Hey, Alan, welcome back. Good to see you. This piece is super hard. It doesn't want to burn. All right. Catch you later, Diesel. When in doubt, use ether. I would hate to guess. There you go. That is very true. Hey Z, how's it going? Welcome in. Getting close. So, like, tomorrow, I'm not going to be on the lathe at all. I'm going to be doing other things. But it would just be hard to stream that, you know? Halfway, how's it going? Welcome in. So if you're just joining us, we're making shafts for Turkish spindles. We're turning hard maple. And so far this stream, we have made these pointy sticks. These are the 8-inch ones we made. Then we made a couple 7 inches. So for many years, I would buy either 6-quarter or 8-quarter pieces of hard maple, and then I would rip them down into square stock like this. This is actually Argentinian Ligavente or Vero wood. So I'd cut them like this, then chuck them up and then turn them. So a few years back, I went to the dowels just because it is less work for me. I don't have to machine them down that much, and it makes a lot less wood chips for me. So it's a little more expensive, but it's definitely a lot neater. Now, if I don't get distracted and clamp it in, that would probably help. There. Now, I haven't looked at the numbers. I think these are like 45 cents a piece. I get them from Atlas Dowel in Ohio. Hey, Thomas, how's it going? Maisie, how's it going? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I also took a nap. Fell asleep on the couch, watching TV, at the shop. Yeah, so the dowels are made to order. So sometimes you have to wait several weeks for them to be done. So if they take too long, I'll just buy wood and cut it down and make my own. You know, you do what you gotta do. I've been getting these unsolicited. They really want to give me $36,000. Actually, my girlfriend's been getting them too. So, like, really, ignore it. It's so hard to block people because they just change the number every time they call you. All right. market for a new lathe. Do you plan on making really big stuff? You know, get the best lathe you can afford. You know, this is a midi size, so, you know, I can make a 12-inch diameter bowl, and I got 16 inches on the bed, you know. Hello. You know, it depends if you want to get something less expensive and upgrade in the future, or, you know, spend the big money and then hope you're going to use it. Oh! Yeah, mostly supported spindle. Oh, you're a beginning spindle maker. You're looking for a new lathe. Any recommendations? The best lathe you can get. So let me grab mine. You know, a midi size might be fine for you. So this is a supported spindle. This is a Russian. So you set it in a bowl. You know, I really like the Laguna. It's been really good to me. For me, it was between this and the Powermatic. But the Powermatic was a little bit too beefy for me. I wouldn't be able to move it by myself, so I've been really happy with this lathe. Hey Sal, how's it going? Yeah, I've been really wanting to design some Tibetan spindles. I've just been so busy. And Technitool filed for bankruptcy a few months ago. Longer than a few months ago. So like the Nova lathes are pretty much non-existent right now. I don't know if you can order them directly from them or not. They're no longer in stores. But they had nice lathes. Right. Do you think it's bearings going on you? Yeah, if it's just bearings, it wouldn't be too bad to replace. That'd be, under $200. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I bought a Nova drill press. So I have a direct drive drill press. So if anything happens, I don't know. I'm done. Yeah, I'm not sure. But they made quite a few of them, so there might be parts somewhere. So the bearings in this one, there's a little chatter in them now. I've been hitting them with dry lube. So I got some WD-40 dry lube, and it doesn't stick to sawdust. Like if you're gonna use oil, it would get all gummed up in there. Might try to get a can of that and just hit the bearings, see if they settle down. But if you got the budget for a new lathe, man, that's awesome. Well, I just got the WD-40. It's great for table saws, drills, and lathes because it doesn't attract all the sawdust. This, like dry molly, would work too. It's pretty neat. Alright, so I just peeled off a big area of that. It just came off. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Kind of depends where that chipped out. Yeah, we're fine. Alright guys, we're going to make one more and then we're going to call it a stream. I need to get some food in my body. I forgot I'm making chili tonight. I better get home and make chili. Alright guys, I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with me. Really appreciate it. Yeah, earlier today I was making supported spindles. I was making Russians. I was actually making some bigger Russians out of beech. Alrighty guys, there we go. Well, I'm gonna go walk home in the dark, so have a great day guys, and we'll catch you later.